Since the early days when we first got our hands on ChatGPT, after the initial wow factor wore off, I've generally been open to but pretty skeptical of the idea that we would have LLMs effectively writing code to any significant capacity, at least not for a while. Up until recently, I've somewhat intentionally been keeping my AI coding usage low. My general philosophy was that I did find it helpful in areas, but for day-to-day coding, any benefit it offered was small enough that I felt it was a better idea to just do the coding myself for the sake of getting the code right from the start and keeping my knowledge of the codebase sharp. But over the past 6 months or so, that has completely changed, given recent advancements in the models themselves and the workflows, like the Ralph approach, that have evolved around them. My workflow, which I will show shortly, is reasonably stock standard as far as agentic AI workflows go. I haven't done anything particularly interesting, nor have I really put all that much effort into setting up my AI workflows. In fact, I spent maybe a few hours setting up my current workflow, most of which Claude did for me. Now, I'm going to try to provide receipts in this video so that the skeptics out there don't instantly just ignore this and throw me on the AI hype boy pile. I can see that people in different contexts are having very different experiences with AI. But I can say quite sincerely that to say I have been 10 times more productive and achieved 10 times more progress on my project than I otherwise would have would almost certainly be an understatement. And I don't have a pile of AI slop code as a result. Before I integrated an agentic AI workflow into this codebase, I had a well-structured, modular, clean codebase that was already quite large and complex, as I had been working on it for about a year building out this game. Now, this might just look like a reasonably simple project, just a dude walking around a tile map, but there is a lot of heavy terrain generation and simulation stuff going on here, complex tide calculations and shader usage, dynamic audio, fire simulation mechanics, and a lot more. So that's the base I was starting from, and after 100 significant PRs, things haven't become messy or difficult. The codebase is just as clean, if not cleaner, than when I began. Each new PR is just as easy as the previous, regressions are extremely rare, and even bugs in new code that the LLMs don't preemptively catch are also rare. And these PRs aren't just small tweaks. For smaller stuff, I tend to just do that in a more ad hoc conversational manner with AI directly on main. These PRs are all mostly large and complex features. So after 100 PRs over a time period of about 1 month, which were done somewhat casually between my main jobs and sometimes overnight whilst I sleep, this is where the game has been able to progress to. It's hard to see all of these changes at a glance visually, but the game has gone from what was little more than an alpha tech demo to a more fully fleshed out game that is almost at the point of a polished demo and public playtest. Without LLMs, or even if I was using LLMs just in a conversational manner, I seriously doubt whether I could have got a tenth of this work done. And this isn't really a case where I'm just setting the AI off to work and then taking a break. I have probably been working harder with AI than I have been without it. And to be honest, sometimes it's kind of stressful, but I have been extremely productive. I will say that I think this project in particular is likely well positioned to benefit from this agentic AI approach, and I think that the results I have seen are likely an outlier in terms of performance. Obviously, this is just sort of shower thought thinking, but I think some reasons for this might be that the game is built with JavaScript, which LLMs know particularly well. The engine I'm using in particular, Phaser, allows you to build games purely with code, so there is no editor required to get things done. And game dev in general involves lots of difficult to build systems that can be loosely connected, which I think lends itself well to an AI workflow. And I was already starting from an opinionated and well-structured codebase that was already modularized quite well. So that paints somewhat of a picture of the results I have seen, and so now for my process. What I think likely speaks to the potential usefulness of LLMs here is that I haven't had to jump through hoops to make it work or try all that hard. I am more or less using the exact same process I've used since PR1 for PR100, because it just keeps working so well every time and I rarely have any need or desire to try and improve it further. It's possible that I just stumbled into the perfect workflow, but I highly doubt it. The basis of the workflow is the general Ralph approach, where you spawn dumb agents in succession to complete larger tasks that are broken down into small parts. To set it up, I just got Claude to read a bunch of articles about the approach and configure it all for me, iterating on that process until it worked to my liking. Now there's plenty of information out there on the specifics of the Ralph approach, so I'm just going to focus on the high level overview of the process and what my typical workflow looks like. So when I want to work on a feature, the workflow goes something like this. I bring up a fresh instance of Claude, or just call clear to clear its context window. Claude by default is given some context about the project and coding standards through the claude.md and agents.md files. I've got instructions for instances of Claude invoked normally, i.e. not as a Ralph agent, so that it understands that it is a manager whose primary role is to plan and design tracks and phases for Ralph agents, not handle implementations. I will then give Claude specific context around what I intend to work on. A great way I find to do this is to reference previous pull requests that are relevant to what it will be working on next. Or I will just point it to the relevant part of the codebase. Once it has that context, I tell it that we will be designing a track for Ralph agents and describe what I want to build. Once we agree upon a plan, it generates that plan as a track. A track equates to one feature or pull request, and that track is broken down into smaller phases. Each phase is handled by an individual Ralph agent. With the track in place, I will trigger my Ralph agents by executing the bash script. I have one script that will continuously invoke more agents as long as there are more phases or tracks available, and one that will only invoke a single agent. The first agent to work on a track will handle creating a work tree for the feature. I've got a separate video on work trees I'll link in the description, and it will open the PR for the feature. It will work on a single phase and then write a summary and the current state to the shared memory file for the Ralph agents. It will then output its termination signal, which will cause the Ralph bash script to terminate the agent, and then start a new agent, which will then begin the work on the next phase after orienting itself. This process repeats until all of the phases are complete, and then the final agent will make sure the quality gates pass, which are things like TypeScript compiling without errors, tests pass, and also any feature-specific quality gates that were decided upon during the planning phase. Once a feature is complete, I can then review and provide feedback on the PR through GitHub. I will start first by manually telling the manager Claude to review the work done and check for any issues. Often it will find one or two issues that it can then preemptively fix. When reviewing the PR, I can either leave a general comment, or I can even add specific code comments on individual lines. After reviewing a PR, I can then invoke the Ralph agents again. They will check the PR for feedback, and if there is feedback, they will address it. If they see I have left a LGTM comment on the PR, they will know to merge the PR and that the feature is finished. It is astonishing to me how often the process I've outlined above just goes completely smoothly. The resulting code usually works or almost works on the first attempt, and the code is usually well structured and in line with the general architecture of the codebase. I used to review the code line by line, but eventually found that unnecessarily limiting because there were rarely any issues. Now instead, I mostly just focus on reviewing the overall architecture and general approaches being used, and again, most of the time the code is fine from the beginning. I would estimate that in less than 10% of cases I have to intervene because of what I would consider some bad choice of direction or architecture, and out of all of these PRs, just a few of them ended up being closed and abandoned. I also don't want to undersell my role in the planning process either. I have strong ideas about how I want the code to be architected and how it should work, and this is covered in the planning phase. So I'm not at all trying to paint this as some sort of developers aren't needed anymore take. Maybe I'm just coping, but my skills do seem to be a necessary ingredient in this recipe. I'm also not really trying to make any kind of claims about the industry as a whole or where this is all heading. This is, after all, just one experience within one niche of software development. But my experience with LLMs within the context of my own experience has been nothing short of phenomenal and far beyond anything I would have expected even just a year ago. Feel free to drop a comment with your thoughts and experiences, and of course if you found this video interesting at all, a like or subscribe before you go would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you back here again.